Oh, dearie me. Who remembers this episode? The inappropriate episode, Spongebob Squarepants, has been pulled from the air 15 years after its TV debut. Weird. Yeah, I remember this episode. It was a very strange episode. I mean, I find it funny. I think I remember certain aspects of it. I think the one part of it was the panty raid. See if I can find that. No, I can't find it. It was really funny. Cause there was a part where Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob, and Patrick. For a kids' cartoon, it was very odd to see characters going to raid women's underwear. I mean, what were they looking for in the underwear? It was a bit odd. I mean, you gotta wonder who thought this through and thought, hey, I think kids might be looking through girls' underwear. But yeah, let's make this into a SpongeBob episode. Great idea. You gotta imagine the amount of people and eyes it must have went through, and they think, we just tick this off. This is a great episode. I found it funny that they went to look for. Mr. Krabs was going through a midlife crisis, and through that, SpongeBob, and Patrick went to look for underwear, women's underwear, and he comes out and he's like, frilly things. Hey, I feel young again. You came through for me, guys. And I thought, what's weird? So what are you doing? You just found a woman's underwear, and it turns out to be Mr. Krabs' mum's underwear, which is even more weird. Like, what? So he's literally going into his mum's house, searching for his mum's underwear. Wow, you gotta think it's like. And they sat down there and thought, that's funny. I mean, you gotta see how times have changed, because they allowed that through, and now you look at this now, people complain about it and thinking that's a bit inappropriate for kids. It reminds me of, I wouldn't say it reminds me of. It depends what gets through, and I found it strange. A cartoon as big as SpongeBob had that get through the censors, Very odd. I mean, I remember Reboot, that kind of got banned in the UK because it made kids depressed. Yeah, that was when then there was the whole Oggy and the Cockroaches with the pornographic material in the background. That was a bit odd. I mean, how did they? You just gotta wonder who. No, does anyone actually watch these cartoons, or do they just see that's the cartoon and be like, oh yeah, this is fine? Because I know these type of cartoons, especially something as big as SpongeBob, would have to go through all the censors and see what's in it, look for the script, and they'd be like, yeah, appropriate, not appropriate, take this out. But they thought it was okay. It's just a bit odd, But I guess maybe it's a sign of the time. It's a sign of time changing. This was what, January 2000, and I remember, SpongeBob was big, but he wasn't that big back then. Or was I wrong? I remember Nickelodeon, their main big act was Kenan and Kel, and they were trying to force a character onto us that, to me, looked like a cheese, but he looked like cheese. He didn't look like a sponge. Every time I saw SpongeBob, I thought he was cheese with holes in it. A talking cheese character, but he turned out to be a sponge, and you kind of got used to him being a sponge. The voice was annoying, the laugh was annoying, but they kind of squeezed Keenan and Kel out. I mean, Keenan and Kel, they are they would get older, so they couldn't have them on there forever because the audience would grow out of them. But with SpongeBob, he stays young forever. He never ages. So this is what they wanted. This is what they were pushing for, a character that will just keep going. And SpongeBob has just kept going. You know, I don't know how many years it's been going on for. It's been going on for years now. I don't think there'll be an end to SpongeBob because he just keeps getting more and more popular. I think certain shows like The Simpsons kind of getting a bit dry, kind of getting a bit boring right now. Simpsons was good. And I looked at older episodes and they were written and more structured, better than they are now. Now they kind of lean too much into pop culture. Well, they always leaned into a lot of pop culture, but it seems to be heavily leaned upon to appeal to the new generation. And then Homer seems to get younger and younger. There's episodes that just make no sense, where his age is meant to be, I think it was maybe 60s, 70s. He was like young in college. He's watching the moon landing. Then there's another episode where Homer's meant to be young and he was a kid in the 90s. So it's to appeal to a newer generation. But then if you watch all episodes, it just doesn't make no sense. And that's the problem with Simpsons. It tries to keep appealing to newer generations, and each time it loses a piece of itself. Let's just say that everything leaves parents horrified. Most parents leave me horrified. That's they even parents in the first place. That they are even parents in the I mean, it wasn't that bad, but you know, you kind of think to yourself like, panty raid, laugh out loud. Who takes any of this seriously? Yeah, Tom and Jerry was. You can't really compare Tom and Jerry to SpongeBob, really. Ren and Stimpy was bad. That had some really crazy stuff in it. But it was Ren and Stimpy never really had it as like a actual kids show. Whenever I saw Ren and Stimpy, it was on like 6, like Simpsons times. So, you know. Yeah, Ren and Stimpy was, I want to say Ren and Stimpy was way more sinister, but they never actually lined up Ren and Stimpy like SpongeBob. Some say, for God's sake, it's a cartoon. Look, for me, I thought it was a bit odd, you know, because yeah, it's a cartoon, but it's all like, why are you raiding panties? I mean, if you look too much into it, yeah, it could be a bit odd. Other people don't look into it too much. I think YouTube wasn't around now, so everybody's looking into everything and it's all been shared more widely. Well, before that came out, 2000? There was no X, there was no Twitter, there was no YouTube, so people had less of a voice to complain about things, even if they did find it inappropriate or not. We could write in and say, hey, we found this inappropriate, but they wouldn't take it down, or wouldn't take it away from being shown. Now that it's all over the internet, people have more of a voice to say, hey, we found this episode inappropriate. But I think everything's being complained about right now these days. That's the real Krusty Krab. There's a lot of like innuendos and adult jokes in it, in anything you see these days. If you want to look into it too much, look into it. But yeah, this is news today.